As Gotham City attempts to heal from the wounds still fresh from the events of Joker War, Batman will find himself drawn into a brand new deadly mystery. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Detective Comics number 1028 and find out. So then, as the comic opens up, one of Gotham's many dirty cops is dropping off that night's ill-gotten gain at the Gleason storage lockers. Ha, I get the reference. What this guy was certainly not expecting, though, was to be run down and eventually decapitated by some sort of maniac dressed as a parody of a cop. They don't actually name him in the story, which I think is a shame. I'm gonna call him the Rider only because Maniac Cop is already taken by a semi-popular series of horror films. Now, this dead, dirty cop had actually been on Batman's radar for a long time now. The only problem is he couldn't actually get any evidence to make anything stick, and as far as the world at large was concerned, he was a hero cop. His funeral actually had a massive turnout filled with a bunch of different movers and shakers, which only leads Bruce to further believe that this guy was only the tip of an iceberg on a much bigger conspiracy. We're also reminded here too that Bruce Wayne even coming to this guy's funeral is seen as something kind of strange in Gotham social circles, as he's still that millionaire who lost everything. Batman returns to the graveyard later that night to do a little X-ray investigation on his own. It seems that the cops actually left a lot out of their autopsy report on how this guy died. Yes, he was decapitated, but he was also shot too, and with a revolver no less, a weapon preferred by an older generation of cops. It would seem that the Rider is just getting started too, having a whole hit list of individuals that he wants to take down. Next up is a dirty judge who he decapitates while he was literally hiding money under his floorboard. Commissioner Bullock is called on in to oversee this. Yeah, that's right, Bullock is still very much commissioner, though the book at least reminds us that he had quit near the end of Joker War. Apparently they just wanted him back that badly. Honestly, that's kind of a shame because I was actually really getting excited about the idea of Bullock returning to being a private investigator again, especially during the times we're in right now, but c'est la vie. Now, Bullock and Batman never usually got along at the best of times, but the relationship has been extra strained now. The people of Gotham have lost faith both in the police and Batman simultaneously, and they don't really know who's got it worse at the moment. Slowly but surely, the Dark Knight starts to paint a picture of what's going on here as at least one more cop ends up dead, this time a motorcycle cop actively trying to escape the city once he realizes that he's next up on the hit list. Eventually, it all gets narrowed down to one last guy. However, unlike the other dead cops, this guy actually gets the courtesy of a phone call, almost as if whatever the Rider was looking for he didn't get with the other four victims. Batman manages to trail the sole survivor to the Gotham police stables. Makes sense as this guy is dressed and running around as a mounted cop. We learned that this criminal conspiracy of dirty cops had spent years robbing drug dealers, taking their money, and then selling their product out of the evidence room. And that the Rider's father was the man tasked with infiltrating this group and gathering enough evidence to take them down. The only problem is this criminal conspiracy had an internal affairs cop on their payroll, and the Rider's father was forced to turn over all the evidence that he had gathered. Distraught, he ended up actually taking his own life, and just to really rub some salt into the wound, the dirty cops planted a bunch of drugs on him so he would go down as the dirty cop. The Rider was actually looking for a bunch of tapes that his father had gathered in hopes that he could finally posthumously redeem his father in the public's eye. While also scoring himself a little revenge while he was at it, Batman manages to swing into action and save the life of at least one of these dirty cops before eventually, getting into an awesome horse chase across the city. Seriously, look at Batman's horse. His horse is amazing. Batman manages to apprehend the Rider and tells him that his father was a hero, someone who was willing to do the right thing even if the world never knew about it, but that by taking lives, he ended up actually shaming his father's memory. The Rider gets himself thrown in jail, where you won't be surprised to find out cops and people who dress like cops aren't exactly popular. That's a pretty dark and dour ending, but the worst is actually yet to come. You see, there was this cop named Nakano. Bruce briefly met him at the funeral from the beginning of the story. Turns out this guy is actually running for mayor of Gotham City on a very hard no vigilante vigilante ticket. And so that was Detective Comics number 1028, everybody, and overall I thought this was a really nice little one-and-done palate cleanser. Joker War is behind us now, and we're heading into a brand new era for Batman. Even if he seems to be getting by just fine without as much money and resources as he seems to have a lot of resources anyway. Still though, this is the kind of down and dirty gangland Batman story that fits really well within the pages of Detective Comics, and honestly a type of story we don't get all that much. It's also a pretty timely and topical story too, shining the light on police corruption in a day and age when I think we're all thinking about that more and more. Overall, I'd give this one an 8.5 out of 10. This was a real fun read. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.